Here's your Iowa Farmland sales report for the week of October 25th through the 31st, which was last week. And I first want to mention that from Jim Rothermich, who is an appraiser here in Iowa, he puts together data reports as well. From his October monthly report, he stated that year-to-date in 2021, there have been 91,550 acres auctioned, which is up 52% from last year-to-date in 2020. Typically, there's only about 75 to 85,000 acres auctioned the whole entire year, and we still have 2 months left here in Iowa. So I'm going to run through some of the sales that we saw here in Iowa last week, and if I don't finish, there will be a part 2 to get through all the results. First being Woodbury County, we saw 120 acres sold for $13,700 an acre, which was $168.93 per CSR2. Cerro Gordo County, 78.43 acres sold for $14,000 an acre, which was $167.46 per CSR2. Lyon County, there's 2 tracts, 80.6 acres sold for $15,800 an acre, which was $165.79 per CSR2. And the second tract, 80.69 acres sold for $15,200 an acre, which was $159.66 per CSR2. Winneshiek County, we saw 112 acres sold for $9,598 per acre, which totaled $137.70 per CSR2. I will mention that last week I saw a lot more pasture and not as much tillable land sell. There was a lot of good quality tillable land that did sell, but this week the dollars per CSR2 isn't going to be as high. Alamaki County, 162.5 acres sold for $8,615, which was $130.33 per CSR2. Muscatine, we saw 51.785 acres sold for $10,125 an acre, which was $169.03 per CSR2. Some of these CSR2s are in the 60s, high 50s, so that's why I mentioned I saw not as high quality tillable farmland last week, but there are a few here. Louisa County, 55.5 acres sold for $9,950 an acre, $189.16 per CSR2. Henry County, 130 acres sold for $6,050 an acre, which was $117.48 per CSR2. Shelby County had 2 acres, 157.79 acres sold for $17,600 an acre, which was $193.19 per CSR2. And go to part 2, which will be up. Here's part 2 for the Iowa Farmland Sales Report for October 25th through the 31st, which was last week. I just did a part 1 and went through a couple of the results, so I'm picking up here in Shelby County. The second tract, which was 154.41 acres, sold for $17,600 an acre, which was $186.84 per CSR2. Shelby County we saw the highest results for last week there. They had a CSR2 of 94.2, so that's why it's high. Buena Vista County, 73.5 acres, sold for $15,000 an acre, 93.2 CSR2, which is $160.94 per CSR2. Cass County, 77 acres, $12,600 an acre, which was $161.33 per CSR2. Franklin, 74.91 acres, sold for $11,100 an acre, which was $150.82 per CSR2. Lee County, 76.68 acres, sold for $13,000 an acre, which was $190.34 per CSR2, because the CSR2 on that farm was only 68.3. Hardin County, 45 acres, sold for $10,200 an acre, which was $130.10 per CSR2. Osceola, we saw $12,300 an acre for 42.98 acres. That sold for $136.06 per CSR2. A second tract in Osceola, 57.55, sold for $6,500 an acre, which was $86.32 per CSR2. Clay County, there are two tracts. 84 acres sold for $8,600 an acre, which was $100.35 per CSR2. The CSR2 on that was 85.7. The second tract of 59 acres sold for $5,700 an acre with a CSR2 of 66.5, which totaled $85.71 per CSR2, and that's the lowest we saw last week. Jasper County, there's 2 tracts there, 388.07 acres, sold for $13,850 an acre for $160.82 per CSR2. The second tract, 151.4 acres, sold for $9,100 an acre, which is $135.58 per CSR2. Mills County, to wrap up, 2 tracts there, 157.15 acres, sold for $14,500 an acre, 85 CSR2 on that, so it's $171.19 per CSR2. Second tract, 162.05 acres, sold for $14,100 an acre, which is $165.69 per CSR2. Stay tuned for this week's results. Next week, I will get them posted and out for you. We have a land auction selling today in Pottawatomie County, so be looking out for that at bid.dreamdirt.com. Thank you.